Yo, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Best albums of 2024 so far. So far. In brackets so far. Dot 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 ellipses. Actually, I'll do like a. It's been a good year for music so far. It's been an exciting year. There's been a lot of great stuff. A lot of exciting artists have released so far this year, and a lot more exciting to come. There's a really exciting year coming ahead. That everybody seems to be dropping. Everybody's auntie seems to be dropping. Their grannies, their mothers, their fathers, you name it. Lauryn Hill's dropping. Apparently, she's like, I got new music on the way. Lauryn Hill? Hill? That's ridiculous. If she drops this year, that's what what do you mean? What do you mean? I gotta say, this is my opinion so far. There's some stuff that I haven't listened to. There's about 25, 26 albums here that I'm a big fan of, and I'm gonna highlight them because I'm a big fan of them. There's a lot I haven't listened to, and if there's one that you're a big fan of and it's not on here, it's because I haven't got around to listening to it yet, or I haven't heard of it. So if you want to give me some recommendations that could change up my end of the year list, then give them to me. Drop them in the comments. I'd be looking forward to listening to them. I'm always looking for new stuff, so I'm down to listen to it, down to hear it. Before we get into it as well, though, I want to give special recognition to an album that's just, it's not a new release of the year because it's just like a live album, but I've been listening to it a lot, and that's Loyle Corner's Hugo live recording from like the Royal Albert Hall. Really enjoyed it, those live renditions of all those songs, because I'm a fan of him and his music. So if you're looking for a good live album, I'd recommend that, but it can't be on here because it's just re-recordings of older tracks, obviously because it's a live concert, and it's not an official new release of new stuff, so I'm not classing it on here as one of the best, but I want to give recognition to it anyway because I really enjoy listening to it. Let's just do it now. Let's get into them. Haha, it's back. Hold on.
Orquídeas.
Orchideas by Kaliukis is the first one. As I said, I reviewed this at the start of the year. It's actually, I think, my first full music review was this album, so it had a special place in my heart for that. But does it hold up? Yes, it's still good, but I don't hold it in as higher regard as I did at the start of the year, when you're like 4 days into it, and it's like the first album that comes out. And I hold it in that high regard back then. And you're like, this is the best album of the year. And we're like a week in. It's still good. It's still fun. I still listen to some tracks on it. I still go back and I still find enjoyment in it. There's definitely great moments on it. And it's a great Latin pop infused project. Next one, My Story's Got Stories. Bruiser Wolf. Heard Bruiser Wolf for the first time on Quaranta, Danny Brown, which I really enjoyed. And when I found out he had a project out, I was like, oh, I'll give it a listen. And he keeps up that sort of unique delivery that he's known for. That weird sort of it kind of sounds like that. It can get annoying. I could say getting annoying for people, but I really enjoyed it. And I think there's some really great, interesting tracks on here when he finds a way to make his voice work. Sometimes it doesn't fully work for me, but on here, at times, most of the time, it's really good. And it makes a really solid hip hop project that I really enjoy, and one that I'd recommend to people if it's the kind of sort of alternative, sort of unique thing you're into. It's not really experimental because a lot of the production aspects are kind of traditional hip hop sounds. It's more experimental in its delivery and its performance, and if that's something that intrigues you, then I'd recommend listening to My Story's Got Stories by Bruiser Wolf. Wall of A's and Wall of A's over the one. Where's the wall? There it is. What's got A's on it? It's still fire. It's still one of the best of the year for me. I still have it on repeat since I reviewed it. I feel like you just take the time. I took the time to let it sit with me more, and the more it just grows on me. The more I discover with every re-listen to, the more I get involved in it and the more I enjoy it. Thom Yorke is so good on like every track. His performance is fantastic vocally across the board. The production is so fascinating. It's so engaging. It's just a fantastic project and truly one of the best abstract sort of rock indie albums of the year, and it holds up. It really holds up, and I really recommend it. Really recommend it. Prelude to Ecstasy, The Last Dinner Party, possibly the best debut of the year so far, and I don't see it really getting toppled, in all honesty. The bangers on here are just non-stop. It's just one after another after another after another, and it constantly keeps you engaged and keeps you returning, and the performances across the board are just unbelievable. Really, really good, really solid, fun project that a lot of people have listened to and enjoyed, and that's great. And they're going to get bigger and bigger from here, honestly, and I don't really see this hype train for Prelude to Ecstasy stopping. Drop 7, Lil Simz, short and sweet. That's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. It's not really. It's great. It's short length. It's easy to digest. It's unique. It's experimental. That would be the right word. And Sims goes for this different kind of sound to what she usually does, and I hope that she explores it on a full-length project and doesn't just leave it at this short 15-minute thing that we get to enjoy. But if she does, fair enough. If she doesn't, great. But a really good project that I enjoy. Scrapyard by Quadeca. This might be my favorite of the year. I love this. I really enjoy Didn't Mean to Haunt You, but this is just something so emphatic. I seen him say that he thinks that I Didn't Mean to Haunt You is better in his opinion, and that's fair enough, because this is just like stuff that he didn't really release and he just went back and finished. But I think it's testament to him that this is so good because he went back and finished these tracks and made them a full-length project, is that he's really learned and really honed in on his sound and really knows how to master it now. And this album shows his current musical progression just continuously going up. It's such an achievement musically. The production is fantastic, the performances are immense, the storytelling is so powerful. Yes, I love this. Quadeca, you need to keep this run, man. You need to keep this run. You need to continue on to the next one and keep it going, because this is just fantastic. Scrapyard by Quadeca, easily possibly my favorite of the year. 2093 Yeet. I didn't get to review this, kind of disappointingly. I didn't get to review this because I'll be honest, not a big fan of Yeet, really not. But with this, I see the light now. I get it. This was my Danny DeVito moment. This is just brilliant. This is so good. The replayability, the tracks are just bangers. The beats are just infectious and just so engaging and exciting and so Yeet. It feels like something only Yeet can make, and that's the best thing I could say about it. I don't even like his delivery that much on his older stuff, but here it just all comes together so emphatically. And I think there's so many tracks that could go down as like iconic ones here. And I'm really disappointed that I didn't get to review this at the time, because the time's passed now. It came out in like February, but I'm excited to talk about it now, and I can see me talking about it again at the end of the year when it comes to my favorites, because I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did, and it's probably my most surprising one of the year for it to be on here. Lost of Life, MGMT. When I reviewed this, I said I was going to give it a 10. I don't think I'll give it a 10. I've let it sit with me more, and I still absolutely love it. I still think it's one of my favorites, top 5 of the year so far, easily, but I just don't think it hit me as hard as it did the first time I listened to it. But it's still absolutely immense. It's still so instrumentally fantastic. It's still so strong vocally. It's still just a solid piece of work, and is just a trajectory for MGMT. I still feel like they can go one step further and make an even better project than the ones they've made so far, and I think this is truly a step in the right direction for where they could go, and it shows the potential of what their sound that they do that's so unique to them, and where it could peak, where it could hit. I feel like their next project could be something just brilliant. But this Lost of Life, MGMT, is also really strong and really good as well. What now, Brittany Howard? This woman was going through like X's and O's, or like crossing off a tick list or something, or she was like Thanos collecting genres, because this thing crosses so many genres. It does it so emphatically and just so easily. She is unbelievably talented as a vocalist, and this album shows it. Every song, her vocals are just up here, and it's probably one of the best vocal performances of any album of the year so far. This is just a fantastic album too, and it's so groovy and so fun to listen to. It's so replayable. There's so many great tracks on it. What now, Brittany Howard? Great project. Blue Lips, Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q comes back, another album that I got to review actually, and I messed with this album heavily. Schoolboy Q has always been hit or miss for me, and this is, to me, is possibly his most consistent project across the board. There's so many great tracks on here, so many moving, sort of engaging and hypnotizing beats, and he keeps that sort of Schoolboy Q heavy bass, drums, engagement that he's known for, and makes just utilizes it, and this is what makes it so engaging and so strong, is because it's so unique to him as an artist that it felt like only he could make some of these songs. There is some sort of cookie cutter ones that you can give to other artists and some beats like that there, but there's some on here that truly exemplify Schoolboy Q, and that's what makes this such an engaging and strong project, and one that I have returned to a few times since listening to it. So yeah, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips, very good. Biggest Laundry, Matt Champion. Say this every time. Rest in peace, Brockhampton. May they rest easy. There was a time where this was just in my rotation on repeat. Like, this album was my life, and I love it. I can't lie, I love it. I think it's, for a lot of people, it's not their favorites of the year, but for me, I think it's just so interesting to listen to. I think Matt Champion across the board, performance-wise, is just so strong. Do I wish there were tracks that were longer? Yes. Don't get me wrong, there's some short ones here that are kind of forgettable, but the highs of this project for me are really high, and I love it for that. So I can't really fault it for me in those points. I love this sort of alternative journey that he's went on. He could have went down in the same usual Brockhampton path, and there's definitely some connections still back to Brockhampton and its sound on this project, and maybe that's why it's such an endearing thing for me. But I think Matt Champion has truly exemplified himself and went above and beyond anybody else since Brockhampton split up, and that's testament to him, and this album is an example of that. As Grande Mahogany, what a fantastic thing, what a brilliant listen. It's not a very long project, this one, but it's just so fantastic. It's so amazing that instrumentally it's so across the board just interesting, and it's vocally fantastic, and it all just comes together to create this rock infused R&B experience. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so unique, and every song is unique on this project. I really recommend giving this a listen if you haven't. It's not a very long project, so you can blast through it, but it's just so interesting, and I'm going to keep an eye on Grande Mahogany because I really want to know where he can go next with his sound, and this album intrigues me greatly. Cowboy Carter, I don't have the guitar. I don't have it with me. Don't have it with me. Can't scare you with that. What can I say that hasn't already been said? It's probably the biggest album of the year. It definitely is the biggest album of the year. And it's just so good. It is that good. It justifies being the biggest album of the year. The country crossover is so effortless. The performance is just so brilliant. It's so catchy. There's so many great songs on it. Yeah, you can't really go wrong. You can't really fault this album, in my opinion. You can't fault it, but you can't really fault it for what it is and what it represents. And if Beyonce won the Grammy this year, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like they have to give it to her now because everybody's expecting it. Cowboy Carter, Beyonce, great project. Listen to it if you somehow haven't listened to it yet. Only God Was Above Us, Vampire Weekend, we are back. We're so back. Vampire Weekend has always been an interesting band creatively. They've always been fun to explore musically. They always create unique sounding things and interesting sounding things, crossing genres with different things all the time. It's always really interesting to listen to a Vampire Weekend project. And you think by the name they're going to be some like cringy boy band rock band. I love cringy boy band rock bands. I don't know why I said that. Loaded Diaper Man, that's where it's at. But no, this is such a fantastic project too. It's so interesting musically again. It's so fun to listen to. Every track gives you something different, something new, unique experience. It really could have been muddled and all over the place, but it's so well balanced and so through line connected. It's just another fantastic project of the year, and Vampire Weekend really delivered here, and I'm so glad that they did. And it has so much replayability and is so fun. It's a great emphatic return for the band. Great album. Yes! Silence is Loud in the Archives. I talked about this briefly in like a roundup I did a while back. It's so great. In the Archives really takes this EDM house techno sound and puts her own spin on it so brilliantly. I love so many different tracks on here. In the Archives is so destined to make it big. And as a debut, this is such a strong debut. And I think that from here, she's only going to get bigger and bigger. And this album is a reason for that because her sound is so unique in this new dance sound that's so popular, and she really puts her own spin on it, and I can't wait for her to make it big. And I think this is such a great album. Silence is Loud, Nia Archives. Connecticut Casual Chapter 2, Apathy. This is one of the best hip-hop projects of the year. Apathy delivers such a fantastic album here. The beats are so fun, they're so interesting, they're so consistently great. Apathy is fantastic lyrically. His flows and his bars here are so charismatic. He sounds so hungry across the board. He's just fantastic. If you're a hip-hop fan and you've somehow missed out on this and it's sort of got under the radar, fix that. Go listen to this. Connecticut Casual Chapter 2, Apathy. Really tongue twister of a title there. Connecticut Casual Chapter 2. Really good, really enjoyed it. Eda Vista by Childish Gambino. I've talked about this already, I did a review a while back. This album being good, man, it means something to me, man. It means something to me. Is it cheating that I put it on here despite the fact it came out 4 years ago? Possibly. But I'm classing this as a 2024 release because it's kind of like a new project. It's that revitalized and that refined and that finished now. Love this. It's so fun. It's so exciting. It's so dancey. It's so groovy. It's so energetic and exciting. Eda Vista by Childish Gambino is so goddamn good, so good. 31520, may it rest in peace, but I'm glad we have this now because it's a lot better production wise and mixing wise and mastering wise and all that fun stuff. Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. I'm not going to be slapped again. Really hurt my ear hurt for a while after doing that. I reviewed this. I have to ratify that it's absolutely fantastic. It has been in rotation consistently since I've reviewed it. It has grown on me so much more. It is such a great project. It's so fun. It's so exciting. It's so moving. It's so dramatic. It's so emotional. It's just a brilliant album. And I really feel like I feel bad for Beyonce, because I feel like there's a good chance that she takes that Grammy this year, because this is great. It's really good, and I've talked about it with her before and just recently. It's like my last video, so check out the review on it. Really good. Hit me hard and soft. Billie Eilish. Woo! Right place, wrong person. RM cooked with this jazz rap album. The grooves and the melodies are immense. The flows are infectious. It is one of the best hip-hop infused projects of the year. I wouldn't call an out and out hip-hop project, because there's the jazz elements and the groove elements and the funk elements are so pristine and relevant in it. But the flows are amazing. The features are really good. It's a really unique listening process, and the jazz elements are truly what engages me and sets it apart from other hip-hop projects of the year. Dark Times, Vince Staples. This is the best hip-hop album of the year. This is so amazing. This is the final release of Def Jam with Vince. And what a way to leave it. It's possibly his best project. This, to me, is such an immense thing. As a hip-hop fan, this is such an immense thing. The beats are lively and somber at the same time and create this perfect balance and fit the tone of the project amazingly. Vince delivers unbelievably on nearly every song. He's so good vocally. His flows are fantastic. The storytelling is possibly the best it's ever been. I love this, and I love nearly every track on here, and I'm really excited to see where he goes next with his sound now that he's kind of out on his own, doing his own thing now and not attached to a label. So yes, if it's more like this, great. If he goes in a different direction, great as well. I really enjoyed Dark Times by Vince Staples. Hashtag Rich Haxatian, I don't know how to pronounce, I think Rich Haxatian by Mach-Hommy. Yes, this album has quietly been released, just like how Mach-Hommy has sort of like quietly established himself as one of the leading lyricists of the underground scene. But it's a really good, if you're a fan of his sound, then this is just right up your alley. He's really exemplified it though, and really improved it too. It's a great project. I've always been a fan of him lyrically. I love his abstract style, and if you're a fan of abstract hip-hop and have missed out on this, I'd recommend going and giving it a listen, because it would be something that's truly right up your avenue, and I am a big fan of it. Yes, Mach-Hommy, very good man, very good. Pathogen, Willow. I saw a guy on TikTok say that Willow like disappears into the ground for like 4 years and then comes back and drops a truly generational banger and then just disappears again. And I back it. It's kind of true. It's kind of true. She just does. She had every 8-year-old kid, 6-year-old kid, whatever age I was whenever that song came out, whipping their hair back and forth like they were spending a crazy night in a gay bar. That's how hype it was, that track. But Pathogen by Willow is fantastic. It's so interestingly, it's so diverse instrumentally. Willow is great on every song vocally. A direction I didn't expect her to go in, but it kind of fits her style. It's a really nice progression of her early stuff, and I think I really look forward to where she goes from here on out, because this is such an achievement for her as a musician, and I think that it's a great way of her breaking away from that sort of Smith legacy that she has upon her, and it's such an interesting direction to go in as an artist. And then Pathogen by Willow is very good, and I'm a big fan of it. Fearless Movement, Kamasi Washington. This is kind of like a mixed one for a lot of people, but I absolutely loved it. Every track is like this jazz symphony orchestra thing. It's like 10 minutes every song. Yes, every song is about 10 minutes long. I get that, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't go and like listen to it on the fly when I'm like doing stuff, but sometimes when I'm just working on stuff, I like to put it on the background because I feel like it's nice to have there, and it's just a really engaging project. His saxophone is just he's so good at it. Why is he so good at it? He's just so good at it, and it's a really strong project. I recommend giving it a listen because it's really good. Fearless Movement, Kamasi Washington. No Hands, Joey Valence and Bray. These guys are slowly and subtly, silently bringing back this sort of classic punk hip hop sound that really established Def Jam as a record label. You know, that sort of sound that was big in the 90s with bands like the Beastie Boys, for example. But they're taking that sound and really bringing it to the modern era in their own way. And I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I think lyrically it's so tongue-in-cheek and so fun and engaging to listen to. There's some great funny bars that make you laugh, make you snigger as you're listening to it. The production is so exciting and pumping and really makes this project just feel consistently as you're listening to it. Really good. No Hands, Joey Valence and Bray. Timeless, Kaytranada. I love Kaytranada. This man just creates these immense grooves and funks and has this unique dance, disco, sort of Latin hip-hop fusion of just dance music, and it's so good. It's so good. His sound is so unique and engaging. This might be his best project though, but it's early days to say that because Puppet Does Exist and it is really good too. But he really uses this influence here and brings in some major features and really melds them to his sound so perfectly. And I'm a major fan of him, and if you're looking for a great summer album, I'd recommend giving this a listen. And if you haven't listened to Kaytranada before, get on it. Get on it. I don't think you'll regret it because he just creates consistently great bangers. Final album I'm going to talk about before I end the video. This is Brat by Charlie XCX. Anthony Fantano just gave this album a 10. Big W for sexually confused and gay people there. Was the 10 justified? Yes, it's really good. That's why it's on here. Charlie has always been an interesting artist creatively. I love some of her projects. I love Charlie. I love This How I'm Feeling. I think they're so fantastic. But this is just hyperpop since she's started doing it has really grew just consistently in popularity. And she's always been seen as like the poster child of it in a way. This is her like just saying, I am the dog. This is my genre. I'm the best at it. Brat is so fantastic. Every song is so masterfully produced. She's so exciting to listen to and so just euphoric with her sound. And I feel like this is a mastery of it. And although it's not as exciting and experimentally as something like Charlie or This Is How I'm Feeling, it's more of a consistent tone, more of a crowd pleaser. There's nothing wrong with that because it is a fantastic, fantastic album and truly one of the best of the year. Easily. And a great way to end this video. These are my favorite of the year so far. I don't know where this could go, what else is going to be involved, if some of these are going to remain on my list by the end of the year, if they're going to be in my top 10, we'll have to see. I can think of a few that could probably will be there. But yeah, big fan of all these albums. I really recommend listening to all of them. I think I'm going to list them all in the description, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just keep it a surprise. But yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you when I see you.